Hey guys, welcome back to Football Ninja Big Five Questions. In this episode, we're going to talk about Wolves versus Arsenal 2-1 defeat. Joining me is Karthik. Hey Karthik, how are you?
Doing good, Amit. How are you doing?
Great. First question, Karthik. What the hell happened? How can Arsenal lose that game with such amazing first 45 minutes?
It was right. I mean, from the kickoff, you look at the first half, you look at till the last minute of the stoppage time in first half, you sort of would know that Arsenal is going to go ahead and win the game. And until that incident, which again a very controversial one.
Yes.
David Luiz getting a red card and then obviously a penalty, Wolves leveling it. But I think before that, I think Arsenal were way too good for Wolves, to win the game. But yeah, I think the red card sort of changed the dimension of the game.
And also the chances missed by Arsenal, they could have been easily 2-0 up or 3-0 up if they would have converted, especially the chances that Bukayo Saka got. What do you think about him? He's not performing when the team requires the most, or do you think this was just an isolated event?
I mean, he is. I mean, if you look at his performance, especially after, even before the Boxing Day when they were in a bad form, I think he was the one who was playing well. And, especially after that, after the win at Chelsea, win with Chelsea, I think he's been performing well. He scored a lot of goals. He's assisted a couple. He's been in great form. He's still a kid. He's still very young.
Yeah.
Those chances, yes, he should have converted those. Looking at his form, but it's just one of those days when he hit the post in the first half. I think that was a great chance.
Yeah.
And then missed a couple. So that happens. But yeah. I mean that's how it is. He also scored one, which was an offside. Yeah.
Thanks to Lacazette. And this becomes Arsenal's first loss after the spree that they were on, especially after the Boxing Day victory over Chelsea. We would just move to the next question, Karthik. Red cards. We have spoken about this in our previous episode as well with United and Southampton. Two red cards. What do you think about the most controversial one, the David Luiz one?
I mean, to be honest, I did not even see a contact there, and even if it was there, I mean, it was a very slight one, which is probably not even, you cannot even see on the in the replay or anything. But one thing to note that the striker is in front of you.
Yeah,
he doesn't know how close Luiz is. Obviously, you sort of know, but then he exactly doesn't know how close Luiz is. He's not looking back at Luiz. Luiz is not coming from the side, but so he's gone down. So obviously there is some bit of contact, I would think, but I mean, it's not a red card.
It's not a red card,
definitely not.
And there was, when you see the replay, there was the striker was expecting a contact because he wanted to make that dive. And when, as a defender, what do you do in that position? Do you go for the ball or take a yellow, or you don't go for the ball and take a red? How does that happen?
I mean, it's the rules that are, there are some of them that doesn't make sense at all right now, especially after the introduction of the VAR. I think, I mean, if these kind of decisions are not overturned, then why do we even have VAR?
Yeah, correct.
And it's a straight red, so that can be reviewed by VAR.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, it's straight red to David Luiz. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know anymore what's happening. I mean, I think even Arteta, in a post-match conference, he mentioned that he saw at least 10-12 times from 4 or 5 different angles, and he said he did not see a contact. So they would probably, I think they should appeal for his red card. So his suspension is reduced to probably a game. But it was a very harsh red card, to be honest.
And with that red card, Karthik, David Luiz has received more red cards, 3, and conceded more penalties, 6, than any other player since he joined Arsenal.
Yeah, and I think one of the other reasons why he, why he probably got a red card, and this is what something that I heard was, it could be his reputation as well. It happens with players. When Diego Costa was there, if there is a tackle or something, Costa would be blamed. Always because of the reputation that he has, or Suarez, the same thing, right? So I think it's a very similar case of that. But then still, if it has gone to VAR, it should not have been a red card.
And moving to the second red card, Karthik, to Leno. That was a crazy mishap by Leno. What the hell was he doing there?
I mean, I think it's obviously not. It's not intentional. It's in that moment. You just have to stop the ball. It's an instinct that you have to stop the ball, and he just put his hand out. Of course, a red card. That there's no argument about that.
He was playing basketball there.
I mean, it's just that instinctive move that he did, and
I think as a keeper, the first thing that you want to touch the ball is the hand, and then he didn't realize he was outside the penalty. See, that's me trying to give all the slack to Leno, and with this, Leno is just the second goalkeeper to be sent off in a Premier League game for Arsenal after David Seaman in West Ham in 1993 against West Ham in 1993. I'm like, if that was the case, this is and also it's a straight red.
It's a straight red. I think he's gonna miss three matches. I think one good thing happened with Arsenal was they signed Matt Ryan from Brighton. So he's a good goalkeeper. He has that Premier League experience. Brighton has been here for 2-3 years now. So he's gonna be a good cover for, but probably a better cover than Leno. Probably. Let's see.
And there is a certain, sticking to this red card, Karthik. Now Arteta's, after taking charge of Arsenal in 2019 on the Boxing Day, the Gunners have been shown 9 red cards, 6 more than any other side, and currently they are sitting on top of the table in total red cards, 5 this season.
I mean, in a way, out of those 9, 3 are David Lewis red cards, right? But it's just how it is. I think a lot of it has also been, not this match, but previous ones. I think a lot of them have also been because of frustration. So there's been a lot of things going wrong at the club. It's probably that, but that's how it is. What it is.
Moving to the third question, Karthik, what a win for Wolves.
Yeah.
This was their victory after 15 December, and there was a lot of rumors about they wanted the manager to be out. What a game to win and stay in the job for the manager.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think two things here. I think one was, if Arsenal would have had 11 men on the pitch, I think it would have been difficult for Wolves, but then I think that helped. The two red cards helped. And then a worldie by Moutinho, João Moutinho. He's a class player as always. So that sort of summed it up for Wolves. But I think since I think this is also the first double, or after
1970
years that they have done over Arsenal, right? And I think after the injury to Raul Jimenez, I think he's still a couple of weeks out, a month out. It has sort of changed how Wolves play. Now they like to sit behind, and just attack on the counter. We saw that against Chelsea. We saw that against a couple of big teams that they play, and that's what their plan was initially. And that is why we saw Arsenal holding the ball, or having the ball, majority of the ball in the first half. But then that sort of completely changed. And then if you have 2 men extra on the pitch, that it's a difficult position to be in. For sure, Arsenal did try their best, but that goal from Moutinho, there's no stopping that.
And once Lewis got a red card, I think the game was totally in favor of, because then they obviously scored the penalty and it was 1-1, and then just coming from the second half, João Moutinho scored in his 61st appearance. This was his first goal at home. Let's move to the players, Karthik. Let's talk about Pepe. This was his 3rd consecutive away goal for Arsenal. I think the last time he did 4, he was in Lille. What a player he's been, at least in away games.
Yeah, I mean, I think now we're starting to see more of him. Initially when he joined for a fee of around 72 million. There were a lot of questions. Obviously, when you have a big money signing, there's always going to be a lot of scrutiny that's going to happen around you. I think he's trying to show his class. I think the goal he scored against Wolves was phenomenal. He had a good performance against Wolves. But again, I think he can do a lot more than he's currently doing. But yeah, he's in a good form, which is good to see. After a very, very long time.
And let's also talk about Pepe here. Let's also talk about Saka here. Initial runs that he was making and initial chances that he was creating. if he would have at least scored, as we said earlier, scored
Yeah.
one of them, I think this story would have been totally different. But what an amazing talent to have in your team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that too, somebody coming from your academy, you know, performing really, really well. I think, for sure, there's gonna be a lot of clubs gonna come in for him.
United.
Yeah, one of the United is linked with every other player in the transfer market, sure. But yeah, he's been phenomenal for Arteta. You know, he's given him goals, he's given him assists, like I said, and then his overall round play, his game sense, it's all amazing. So, and he's still pretty young, so you know, there's a lot of time for him to develop into a great player.
The last question, Karthik. Let's talk about the road ahead. Let's talk about Arsenal. They are gonna have a tough time now. Arsenal is playing against Aston Villa, then going to Leeds, then playing against City, playing against Leicester. I think they have one Burnley game. Then they again play against I think Liverpool.
Tottenham and Liverpool, yeah.
That's going to be a difficult set of games in Premier League for them.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be pretty difficult, right? None of them are gonna be easy games.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
even Burnley is not gonna be easy. It's not very easy, but it is how it is. They have had a run of easy games or fairly easy games.
They had a game against Chelsea and United. Those were not easy games.
Those were not easy games, but you know, in a way, if you see the other games that they had, they were fairly okay. They won against Southampton, which was good. Wolves is again a little tough, but you know, now the road ahead, I think they are in what they are currently number 10 on the table, and you know, they have to either get a point or at least 3 points from at least some of these, if not all, you know, to stay relevant to the at least top 6 finish, if they want to.
And if you see from the coming the road ahead, if you see the games that are coming up, I think this would have been an amazing platform for them to win and gain confidence and enter into the series of games that are going to come up. Do you think that's going to affect them mentally? Or Arsenal has seen enough shit already that they're used to it?
I think they have, but I think this was just one of those games where, you know, I think for any team to lose 2 players, it's gonna be difficult. So I think they do realize that they are in good form. I mean, they had a good game this one as well. So I think they're gonna continue. They're gonna continue playing well. You know, you have Lewis or any other defender, it's the same, basically the same thing. But I think it's I think they are in good form, and it's gonna be tough for other teams as well to play against Arsenal and get a win against them. It's not an easy one.
Moving to Wolves, Karthik. Wolves is going to play against Leicester now, and then against Southampton, and then Leeds. These are again difficult games that they're gonna face. So what do you think? Where will they boys there?
I think it's gonna be the same tactic that they have been doing. Sit back, you know, defend well. And I think they defended really well against Arsenal as well. You know? Like we said, they had a couple of chances, but they sort of defended well. So that's gonna be the game plan. Just hit on the counter. They don't have a striker right now, except for Willian Jose, who they just signed. So it's gonna take him time to settle in. But and then Fabio Silva, who whenever he scores, they lose. So I think. I think it's gonna be tough for them, but that's gonna be the tactic. Just hit on the counter and try to get some goals.
Great, Karthik. So with this, guys, we are gonna close this episode. Thank you so much, Karthik, for joining. This is me, Amit Bish, signing off. Bye, guys.
This is Karthik. Cheers.